Born in Dunphy, Illinois, to Norton and Edna McCoy, Henry McCoy's mutation manifested due to his parents' exposure to radiation as explained in X-Men Origins. Beast number 1, September 2008. His father worked at a nuclear power plant. After an accident at work, Norton was exposed to massive amounts of radiation. He never felt any symptoms, but his DNA had been modified and altered his son's genes. Hank was born different. Unlike other mutants who developed their mutation once they reached puberty, Hank showed signs of being a mutant from birth. He had oversized hands and feet, a bigger body, and soon displayed exceptional agility as a toddler. In school, he excelled in both sciences and sports. In college, he became a stellar student and star football player. This drew the attention of Professor Charles Xavier, who invited the young Hank to his school for mutants. However, he was also noticed by the supervillain El Conquistador in X-Men number 50-52, September, October, and November 1968. The villain tried coercing Hank into becoming his partner in crime by kidnapping his parents. Thankfully, Charles Xavier approached Hank just in time. After the Conquistador was defeated, Hank officially joined the X-Men and adopted the name Beast. The other members of the team at the time were Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, Jean Grey, who used the alias Marvel Girl, Warren Worthington, aka Angel, and Bobby Drake, aka Iceman. In these early days of the X-Men, Hank battled villains like Magneto, the Blob, and Namor. Then, one day, everything changed for Hank McCoy. Beast's mutation underwent a major shift when he began working for the Brand Corporation in Amazing Adventures, Volume 2, Number 11, December 1971. Hank worked at a research and development company under the Roxxon Energy Corporation, an American multinational oil and gas conglomerate behind many crimes in the stories of Marvel Comics. While working there, Hank managed to isolate the hormonal extract that created mutation. This substance would later become the basis for the mutant growth hormone, or MGH, a drug that grants temporary superpowers. At the time, one of Hank's colleagues grew jealous of his success. Hank overheard this colleague, Dr. Maddox, plotting to steal his research. Miscalculating the consequences, Hank injected himself with the serum to protect the formula from Dr. Maddox. This soon triggered radical physical changes, and the furry beast was born. Hank grew fur over his entire body, his muscles doubled in size, his ears became larger and pointy, and his canine teeth grew to resemble fangs. The serum increased all of his powers like superhuman agility, endurance, speed, and strength. It enhanced his senses and granted him a powerful healing factor. But that's not the only transformation Beast had in his mutation. In fact, his power set changed a lot over the decades. After leaving the Brand Corporation, Beast wanted to join the Avengers in Avengers Volume 1, Number 137, April 1975. This marks the start of a long friendship between Hank and the superhero team. At first, he only had temporary membership in the Avengers, but would later join the team full-time in Avengers Volume 1, Number 151, June 1976. The Avengers at the time were Vision, Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, Tony Stark as Iron Man, Steve Rogers as Captain America, Janet Van Dyne as Wasp, and Hank Pym as Yellow Jacket. Hank remained a member of the Avengers for many years. When Wonder Man joined as well, they became best friends. Sometime later, Beast joined another team, the Defenders in Defenders Volume 1, Number 104, February 1981. He took it upon himself to revitalize the Defenders, seeking the help of Nick Fury. Hank also reached out to his old X-Men friends, Angel and Iceman, who also joined the team in Defenders Volume 1, Number 130, January 1984. After this iteration of the Defenders disbanded, Beast was an important member in yet another team, the X-Factor in X-Factor Volume 1, Number 1, November 1985. The group's creation was catalyzed by the return of John Gray, who the others believed to be dead at the time. X-Factor posed as mutant hunters, but they actually helped mutants in need of assistance in secret. A few years later, Beast returned to the X-Men, resuming his role as the technological and medical genius of the team. Hank's intelligence is by far his greatest asset. He is ranked among the top scientific minds in the Marvel Universe, alongside Reed Richards, Tony Stark, and Hank Pym. He has multiple PhDs in genetics, biochemistry, and evolutionary biology. He is a polymath and a polyglot, fluent in many languages including Latin, French, Russian, and German. Thanks to his genius-level intelligence, he is often the tactical mind behind the X-Men's plans. At the same time, Beast is also exceptional at hand-to-hand combat. Beast is also an accomplished pilot, inventor, and medical doctor. His role on the X-Men has constantly been as medic and tech support, even operating on teammates and building or overseeing important machines. Since birth, he has shown incredible strength, endurance, and agility. But his powers have evolved significantly over time due to multiple secondary mutations. After taking the serum at Brand Corporation, he first developed his iconic animalistic look. Beyond having all his previous powers enhanced, he also developed sharp fangs and claws, which he began to use in combat. He has superhuman stamina, being able to stay active non-stop for hours without any fatigue. Beast is able to achieve incredibly high speeds, especially if he runs on all all fours. His senses sharpened, giving him night vision, long-distance hearing, and olfactory tracking. This also added to his animal-like transformation. Later evolutions of his powers included transforming into a more feline-like form introduced during the new X-Men run, during which he used his agility more than ever before. This cat-like form, like a few others, were temporary states of mutations for Beast. In more recent comics, Hank's powers have become even stronger. Although his second mutation at Brand Corporation was somewhat accidental, he has willingly mutated himself further to increase efficiency and dominance in later stories. Over time, he became no longer limited by his initial fear of being a monster. Beast now has a strong regenerative healing factor, although not at the level of Wolverine or Deadpool. Due to this power, he also ages slower than usual and has an extended lifespan. He can recover from injuries significantly faster than other mutants, though, and his unique genes make him resistant to most toxins and diseases. Remember when we discussed Beast's friendship with the Avengers earlier in the video? Hank actually became an enemy to the X-Men, and this feud is connected to the Avengers. One of the biggest turning points came when Cyclops took the reins of mutant leadership and began pushing the X-Men toward militant extremism. Disillusioned, Hank left the team in Uncanny X-Men number 519, December 2009. This wasn't just a personal falling out. Beast took a firm stand against Cyclops' authoritarian vision, siding with Wolverine during the schism that tore the X-Men in half. He then helped build the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning, a symbol of what he believed the X-Men should represent. But perhaps the most surprising shift came during the Avengers vs. X-Men conflict. Instead of supporting his fellow mutants, Beast aligned himself with the Avengers. Another surprising fact about Hank's journey is that it has not always been one of straightforward heroism. He has made some catastrophic decisions in the name of science and survival. From tampering with time by bringing the original X-Men into the present, to experimenting on mutant kind without consent, Hank's moral compass has been increasingly questionable. One of Beast's most controversial decisions came during All New X-Men. In an effort to shake Scott Summers from his extremism, Beast took the original 5 teenage X-Men from the past into the present. The consequences were immeasurable. The past X-Men became stuck in the present, and alternate futures began to proliferate. To make matters worse, Hank kept much about this a secret. As alternate versions of the future spiraled out of control, Beast's refusal to own up to his mistake alienated him further from the X-Men. Around this time, he also assumed Professor Xavier's role in the shadowy organization known as the Illuminati in New Avengers, Volume 3, Number 3, February 2013. And it's not the only thing he has hidden from the other X-Men, but part of a pattern. During the Legacy Virus Crisis, one of the deadliest threats mutant kind has ever faced, Hank also made some controversial decisions. Desperate to find a cure and feeling sidelined by Charles Xavier and Moira McTaggart, Beast shared research data with Mr. Sinister, one of the X-Men's most dangerous enemies in X-Men Volume 2, Number 27, October 1993. He knew that Sinister's methods were unethical, but he also knew that the villain had the resources and ruthlessness needed to accelerate the search for a cure. This bargain haunted Beast for years. He kept it hidden from most of his teammates, knowing it betrayed the ideals of the X-Men. Yet no secret in Beast's life is darker than his role in the Krakoan era. In X-Force Volume 6, Number 1, November 2019, Hank was appointed the head of X-Force, who began to act as Krakoa's secret intelligence and Black Ops agency. Hank has committed war crimes. Under the guise of protecting mutant kind, Beast has authorized torture, carried out assassinations, and overseen human experimentation. In the 2019 X-Force series, he even went so far as to build a clone army of himself to execute tasks he deemed too dangerous or too immoral for anyone else. Pretty strange from the guy that wanted to stop Cyclops from being authoritarian, right? Beast manipulated his own allies and kept secrets from the Quiet Council, essentially consolidating unilateral power. His excuse was always the safety of mutants. His surveillance systems monitored citizens, his agents acted without oversight, and became a true villain in Marvel Comics. Beast's personal life is also full of secrets and some pretty painful failures in his relationships with friends and lovers. His once close bonds with Cyclops, Wolverine, and Jean Grey have all become strained. Wolverine, more than anyone, has been both a victim of Beast's schemes and a vocal critic of his darker behavior. Since Beast resurrected him in a feral state to use him as a living weapon in Wolverine Volume 7, Number 27, November 2022, Wolverine became one of Beast's biggest enemies. Romantically, Hank's life has been just as tragic. Most of his romantic relationships, like the one with Abigail Brand, ended in heartbreak. And these dark tendencies are not limited to the main Marvel Universe or Earth 616. Some variants of Beast openly embrace the role of supervillains, like Dark Beast in Age of Apocalypse, who comes from Earth 295. On Dark Beast's world, Professor Charles Xavier died before founding the X-Men. In consequence, the supervillain Apocalypse took over the world, and Hank McCoy never became a superhero. Dark Beast works alongside Apocalypse and Mr. Sinister to oppress and exploit others. When Dark Beast met Beast, he was shocked to see a variant of himself working alongside the X-Men. as shown in X-Men Unlimited number 10, January 1996. Dark Beast is a sadistic scientist who tortures mutants in the name of progress. In some ways, modern Beast seems to be walking a dangerously similar path. With the X-Men, including Beast, coming soon to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you may be wondering, how will he fit into the upcoming movies? Well, let's take a look at Beast's role in the Secret Wars event in Marvel Comics, and see if that could be used in Avengers, Doomsday and Avengers, Secret Wars. To be more specific, we'll talk about Time Runs Out, the storyline of the incursions that happened just before Secret Wars, which essentially made the whole next event possible. Hank was a member of the Illuminati at the time the threat of incursions began. They took it upon themselves to destroy other worlds to prevent incursions from destroying Earth 616. When Steve Rogers found out about this, he ordered the Avengers to hunt down the Illuminati. This led Beast to seek refuge in Nation X, a sanctuary led by Cyclops, who took him in despite their differences. Despite the attempts to stop them by the Avengers, the Illuminati's mission was successful, and they began preparing for the final incursion. Ultimately realizing that they could not stop the multiverse from ending, and that all that effort had been in vain, they created a life raft to try and keep some people alive after the end of the world. Beast got on the life raft, along with the other chosen few. This is where the Time Runs Out storyline ends. In the very first issue of Secret Wars, a battle erupted between the two remaining Earths. The life raft was caught in the crossfire, and Beast died in Secret Wars number 1, May 2015. In the final stages of the Secret Wars event, the temporary universe known as Battleworld was dismantled, and the main Marvel universe was restored. In the process, Beast came back to life. We already know that Beast will appear in Avengers, Doomsday, and the Thunderbolts has recently given a huge indication that Avengers, Doomsday will adapt Time Runs Out. In the post-credits scene of Thunderbolts, the new Avengers see a multiversal spacecraft with the Fantastic Four logo entering the Earth's atmosphere. In the same way, Avengers. Doomsday can start with the sudden appearance of a number of life rafts in the skies of Earth 616, including the Illuminati life raft with Beast. Now, the big question is whether the MCU would kill Beast and other characters in this moment like it happened in Marvel Comics. It could be a very cool plot twist for the first half of the movie. At the same time, with Thunderbolts recently using a very similar plot twist by killing Taskmaster early on, it could also feel repetitive. Another possibility is that the MCU will alter the events of the comics to better fit the movie's narrative. Beast could survive and align himself with Doctor Doom, for example. If the future Beast of the MCU is going to be anything like the current Beast in Marvel Comics, it would make sense to introduce him to the franchise as a minor villain right away. Or honoring his past experience with the Avengers in the comics, he could join the Avengers in the MCU as well, and fight supervillains with them in Battleworld. Battleworld may become the perfect stage for a contained adaptation of Avengers vs. X-Men, and Beast can once again choose the side of the Avengers. The MCU could also make their version of Hank McCoy a partial adaptation of Dark Beast, where he's a villain but also in the Illuminati. If a darker version of Hank is the variant coming in Avengers, Doomsday, then he won't be aligned with neither the Avengers nor the X-Men, only other supervillains. Either way, whether he dies at the beginning of Avengers Doomsday or survives to follow any of these paths we have discussed, Beast will remain in the MCU moving forward. At the end of Avengers Secret Wars, the franchise will get a soft reboot where the X-Men will be incorporated. Then, the mutant saga will begin. We already had actor Nicholas Hoult playing a younger version of Beast in the last X-Men films, and we know that legendary actor Kelsey Grammar, who played the character in the first Mutant films, will return for Doomsday. But we still don't know which actor will play Hank McCoy in the new saga, although there are already names that fans are putting on the table, such as the acclaimed Jesse Plemons. It's still too early to make predictions for what is coming that far ahead, but we know that we can expect some exciting moments with Beast in Avengers, Doomsday at least.
Henry, you are always welcome here. You're a part of this place.
Now that we have gone through the origins and evolution of X-Men's Beast in Marvel Comics, including some insight into his role in Time Runs Out and Secret Wars, what part of his story would you like to see in the new X-Men of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Do you think that the Hank McCoy coming to Earth 616 in Avengers Doomsday is the same one we have seen in the post-credits scene of the Marvels? Let's discuss the possibilities in the comments below, and remember to subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching CBR.
My boy, I have been fighting for mutant rights since before you had claws.
Did he just call me boy?